I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the strategy room. We are still several months away from the first 2016 primaries, but already some potential candidates are trying to court voters in key contests. This weekend, Republicans Jeb Bush and Scott Walker will be in New Hampshire, while Democrat Jim Webb is setting his schedule to visit states like Iowa and South Carolina. Joining us to discuss are political strategists Ashley Natalia and David Mercer. Welcome to you both.
Good to be with you, Lauren.
Thanks for having us.
Ashley, let me start with you. So is the 2016 race well underway?
Well, it is well underway, and while I think many will still be watching what comes out of New Hampshire with Jeb Bush and Scott Walker, I think the bigger story moving into the weekend is that for the first time we have a two-party race in regards to what's going on the Democratic side. The political axis is starting to shift, and the false sense of security that many Democrats have had in regards to Hillary being the obvious front-runner is starting to subside. This email scandal has them freaked out, and for the first time they're starting to wonder if Hillary derails, who do we put in her place?
Yeah, David, do you agree with that? I mean, has the race begun even though we don't even have a primary yet?
The race has begun, but I would disagree with Ashley, and I think she's read a couple of clips over the last couple of days in immediate response to the press conference that Secretary Clinton had. But I will point out this, and that is 89% of Democrats see her as their candidate for 2016. If you look at Jeb Bush just as one, he only commands 49% of the Republicans in support of his candidacy. So while it may be narratively, or people, the word of mouth might be that Democrats are a little worried about it, the numbers don't show that, and I think that you will see as we get closer to those primary states that Hillary Clinton's standing will remain the same, if not expand, and in addition that we will see the email issue go away, especially when so many candidates on the Republican side have either wiped drives before they ran for office, as Romney did, or they've had staff that have gone to jail because they were using the public accounts for political purposes. So I think you'll see once the campaign is joined that issue goes away and will not have the impact that some would hope it would have.
Well, okay, I want to talk about the states themselves because there are many candidates who have won in Iowa or New Hampshire and then failed to either get the party's nomination or just lost the race altogether. So do the early primary states really still hold clout, David?
I believe they do, and you see that in the amount of money and time that is being spent, especially on the Republican side, in going into those early states, and that is sort of an investment. The thinking being that if they go in properly and get around those states and garner the support, that if they win 1, 2, or 3 of those states, coming out of the 4 first primaries and caucuses, that they will then have the momentum that will make it, 1, less expensive, and they can ride the momentum to the other states, be it Super Tuesday in the South and elsewhere.
So, but Ashley, do some candidates, though, play better in some states than others? New Hampshire's not been kind to the Bushes, although they've done well in the general election.
Well, that's true, but I think moving into this weekend, they're doing exactly what they should be doing. They're courting voters, they're testing their message, so that by the time we do come around to primary day, they'll have a much better sense of what's working in those states and how to really resonate with those voters to get the key electoral votes that they need.
And I would agree with Ashley on that point. The real question for the Republican Party, given what happened in 2012, is whether they end up being part of a circus or that somebody emerges speaking with real solutions to the middle class without giving in to the primary voter that tends to be a little further right or extremist than what the general election voting population would be.
Okay, you've got a former state GOP chair saying that I don't think anyone can be called a front runner right now. You've got the former New Hampshire Governor John Sununu saying, it's too early in the process to start paying attention yet to anybody. So, David, who has the advantage right now in the early states?
Well, I would think, and it's been touted that that Bush has the advantage when it comes to money, when it comes to getting very well seasoned and experienced senior staff. I mean, he got Romney's former state director out of Iowa. I think he's picking up the likes of the same in New Hampshire. So he's showing that he'll have a well-heeled operation. The question is, can he translate that to the voters that Ashley had alluded to earlier? And the big test for Bush is going to be whether or not he tacks to those voters or he stands as a leader, unlike Mitt Romney, who abandoned his ideas for which he should have run on.
Mm-hmm. And Ashley, who do you think? Who has the advantage right now in these early states?
Well, I think it can be anybody's game. We saw in the last presidential election that at different times throughout the election process, different people rose to be the front runner at different times, and I don't think that 2016 is going to be any different. Also, moving into the weekend, I think now this is a new opportunity for Democrats to maybe do the same thing. Jim Webb is campaigning in Iowa, and if there was ever a time when Democrats were going to start to switch places and be the front runner, now is a good time for people like Jim Webb and Governor O'Malley to start to get their feet wet, test their message, and see if voters respond to them in the event that Hillary continues to derail.
All right, I want to thank you so much, Ashley.
Well, I'll say she's not derailing.
Okay, yes, David did get out the last word. All right, thank you so much, Ashley and David. And you want to check out foxnews.com for the latest on the 2016 race. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.